Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody, from wherever you're watching from. It is the second week of group stage in the 5WC 2026, and we have a pretty interesting match of 8 countries with the same colored flags. It's going to be Poland against Singapore. Seed 15 versus Seed 23. It is Group B, match B2. And I am joined today by Timber. My name is Philogson, and we're gonna be taking the honor of casting this match.
Yeah, it's gonna be quite the match for Singapore here because from the stats, from their results from qualifiers, it's not looking too great. But you never know. Lower star pool, anything can happen. We'll just have to see how they perform here. The protects are in, and we do see a DT1 protect from Singapore and a normal 3 protect from Poland here.
Yeah, Singapore in their qualifiers, their proudest scores were exactly those DT maps, especially DT1, DT2, DT3, all of them. Other skill sets, they're not that great at on paper, at least from qualifiers. And yeah, Poland is going in blind because Singapore hasn't played any matches so far in group stage. This is their first one, and DT1 makes complete sense from them. For Poland though, they have already played one match not so long ago, and they beat Czechia 5-1. And that was... Oh wait, no, it was Singapore. It was Singapore who beat Czechia 5-1. They did protect Hard Rock 3 over there, so it's gonna be different. And yeah, we saw some nice picks from them. It was Nomad 1, DT1, Hard Rock 3. And they banned Nomad 4, Nomad 5 there. So, you know, Timper, this kind of a very versatile strategy from Singapore. I can definitely tell that it's going to be quite different from what we've seen in qualifiers. This is lower star pool, and they're just going with whatever they want, especially considering you have those lower SR tourney players like Dingling Chan, Aldman Mall. Those are 30k, 40k tourney players that are way more comfortable when it comes to lower SR. So for Poland, with their veteran roster, they better watch out.
Yeah, definitely that as well. But maybe that veteran roster can pull through. That consistency is definitely going to be their advantage here. And with the bans coming in now, we have the bans from Poland being DT2 and Hard Rock 2. And from Singapore, we see Nomad 2 and Nomad 4. Nomad 2 probably a ban because they're just not comfortable in it from their qualifier scores. And the Nomad 4 also a ban because Poland was pretty good on that, I think. From the DT2, the ban from Poland, which is fair. Their speed roster isn't that great. They actually were outscored by Singapore on the DT2 and the DT3 in qualifiers. With the only other map being outscored on by Singapore being the Hidden 2. And the Hard Rock 2 ban probably just a ban because they're just uncomfortable on it.
Yeah. I think that's gonna be the strat for Team Poland. Just not going for those DTs, going for those control-heavy maps like Nomad 3 Protect, especially considering Singapore did ban it last time. So I know, gonna be interesting to watch. For Poland though, their tendency is quite interesting because, you know, it's some sort of that team synergy that you actually do not have those core players for most of the maps. It's actually your rosters are changing all the time. Like, there is no player that perma lobbies. They have 5 great players from 5EC, and now they also got reinforcements for 5WC. They got Jambic Pasta, they got Marson, they got Kiori. And with that, they got Seed 15. They're pretty well rounded, but well, that will be put into test because Singapore is, I think, going in for their first pick, which is also the Protect. No time to explain. DT1 is on the screen.
Yeah, they're straight going into their Protect here. Trying to get that point on the board, trying to get at least 1 point from Poland. And I think the DTs are the best chance that they have, with Poland being less comfortable on the faster picks, but it is still a gamble for them because from their stats, from their results from qualifiers, it is just on paper a match that they are bound to lose. But I really hope they can get something down on the ground and get a very good start.
Yeah, by simple arithmetics, it does seem that Poland has an upper hand, but also, Timper, you look at Singapore and you see that very one player named Appletier. Appletier did not actually play qualifiers, and they did show up for the previous match against Czechia, and this player completely destroyed that NOMELON 1 and also that NOMELON 4, if I remember correctly. But yeah, no, it was Harrock 1. But yeah, this person is very consistent, so good reinforcements for Singapore. Maybe that will be the determining factor for Singapore, who knows. But with that, it's going to be DT1, 260 BPM, speed aim, have some jumps there, but also I would even say some speed slider aim is the name of the game on this one. It is Asian Hideout, amazing band, amazing song. And yeah, the map is not quite generic of a DT1 if you ask me.
No, definitely not. It is more on the techie, sub-techie kind of elements in it as well. But it definitely is more on the consistency side than any other map here. And we are going into this very quickly. Map only being 1 minute 55, so it is a very short map. So far, Poland has a very small lead by accuracy, but it can change at any point with just one miss.
Yeah, for sure. Still just the early days. We're looking at the players. Pukukii is starting, waiting for the first crack in either of these teams' defenses. Who's gonna be the first one to blink is the question. Grampek is holding really well with the SS. This guy on himself is one hell of a player, and he is pushing it all the way, supporting Poland and leading that assault on Singapore. As we're done with the first KI, and we are seeing an 8-way FC. This is the strongest map that Singapore can put to the challenge. This is the DT1 is the highest seeded score that they got in the qualifiers, was seeded 11. So this is some sort of their best instrument of execution. They will try to lower the guillotine with this one, but not with a break from Asterix and Alman Mall. That is not what you want to see. 2 FCs versus 4 as we're entering the second PI, Timper.
Yeah, and it is Poland who is just running ahead and running away with it, because their 4-way FC, or no, actually no, 3 FC with Bold 3D, having missed earlier, is just holding strong right now. And only those 2 FCs from Singapore is just not enough to challenge Poland, who now has a 250,000 score lead. And yeah, their accuracies are pretty good. Definitely that one from Prison Black.
Yeah, Dinglucha and Appletier, the veterans of Team Singapore, trying to gatekeep, but there's nothing you can do. Iron Cube, Illumina, and Jampek, those 3 are just so prominent tourney players from Poland. Iron Cube and Illumina in particular appearing for 5EC and showing some incredible performances over there, and now they are transitioning it to 5EC, or the 5WC as well, with a 3-way, with Jampek past also have seen the map. That is a powerful team score of almost 4 million. Only Bold 3D not been able to close this map with an FC, but damage has been done. And that's another dominant victory that we are seeing today. We already saw Australia against Ukraine. That was one hell of a beatdown. And right now, Poland is starting off this map with a break point, which was also a protect from Singapore. Quite crazy.
Yeah. As we said already, this match is probably going to be a little bit one-sided, but I really hope that Singapore can take maybe a point from the DT3 if they pick it later, because it is one of the maps that they were outscoring Poland on in qualifiers. So I really hope they can do something with that. But for now, it is 1-0 to Poland, and it is their pick as well, so they can take a 2-0 lead here if they do win it.
Yeah, consolidating the lead is what Poland really wants. And unfortunately for Team Singapore, they try to batten this DT1 on their consistency map that they really adore. But Poland, they just showed us that they are also very, very consistent, not only in qualifiers on 6.6 SR Pro, but when it comes to low SR air, they as well know what they're doing. Yeah, with that one, they might actually go for some other consistency maps because they want DT1, but now they will reply to a Protect with their own Protect, which is Noma 3.
Yeah, and it being the Protect from Poland is probably going to be a win for them, but with what just happened to Singapore, to their Protect, anything can happen still. Protect doesn't immediately mean you win it, so it is still up to the players to win it for their own country. And with that number 3, it is kind of a consistency more on the alt side, alting side, of course. So it is more or less normal consistency, but with an alt side to it.
Yeah, some snap alt action in this Noma 3. Overall, one of the more fun Noma 3 maps that I really enjoyed playing. For example, it not only has those snap alt patterns, but also sometimes stop and go. Sometimes, I think there was one particular moment in the map where it kind of transformed into a swing-ish section, because not only you have snap alt, but also there is a hell lot of that slider aim, that back and forth slider, not jump, but you know what I mean. This one has not only snap alt, but also some slider capabilities tested for players. Yeah, pretty banger. Number 3. We know that Poland is more than capable of playing that one. I am just expecting Kiori to step in for this map. Kiori, one of the strongest aim and control players that we did not see in 5EC because he was admin in it. And now he is in the roster. He's also the captain of the team, and there he is, supported by Obred, IronQ, and Arthur Bastia. Your 5EC trio. And that is looking quite scary. For Singapore, they're sending in Sopan and Junk Maniac. Junk Maniac, a great control and gimmick player, and also you have Sopanda, who is usually in for those mechanics maps, so I'm quite surprised seeing him for Noma 3, but maybe we know maybe Singapore knows something that we do not, and who knows, what if it's breakpoint after a breakpoint on Protects? Imagine, Timber.
That would be absolutely crazy. Because that would just throw off the whole Protect system just out of the window. With players now finally starting to load in, hopefully we can get this map started. I thought I did already start without them, so the players are now going to catch up to them. And we are now getting into this normal 3. Poland's Protect, so hopefully they can keep it for themselves, not just like Singapore just lost it.
Yeah, I would like to mention that overall for Singapore it is quite risky to pick anything into Poland because they have no data about how Poland performs in matches. It's just quals, and that backfired in DT1, for example. They did not know what to expect, but Poland knew very well that they can't play this DT1, and they're also very confident in this Noma 3. The accuracy on default, by default, is gonna be favoring Poland, but with that break from Arthur Bastia, is gonna slightly shift towards Singapore right as the first KI starts. Apple tier is 97, and that's the highest accuracy for Team Singapore. He is leading that dominant performance so far.
Yeah, so far, Singapore is actually in the lead here, with Arthur being the one to break a bunch for Poland. Their score is now halted, and Singapore is just running away with it right now with that 4-way that they're still holding, and hopefully they can do that throughout the whole map, because I think with one more break, it might just very quickly go back to the side of Poland because of the accuracy.
Yep, everyone hit those triangular snap patterns, which is very respectable, very impressive from the entire lobby. No one fell short on these. The second KI is gonna separate the losers and the winners, but so far it's just free combo, but not for Arthur Bastia and Apple tier. That is not what you want to do if you are Singapore. 3 assists versus 3, and it is completely equalized, just 150k that Singapore has on regular basis, and that is the only thing that's keeping them alive right now. Poland is on their tail. They are trying to catch up, they're recovering. Kiori, Ober, and Arinku are still here. You cannot count them off the board, but Singapore is just doing something so incredible. I do not know, Timber. I made a joke that, yeah, imagine if it's a trade of breakpoints on Protect. That would be insane. But so far, Singapore, it looks like they're in for the money.
Yeah, with a quarter of the map left, Appletair does find another miss. And that does mean that we're gonna see score trading, but it is Joe Maniac and Obred who are trading misses here, and the score is now stuck at that 110-ish difference, and it is just not moving.
Yeah, hold on. It's just 2v2 Kiori and RNQ against Sopad and Azarax. And look at Singapore. And RNQ is... Oh my god, RNQ is showing Kiori as well, 1 by 1. They hit the ground. Singapore, flawless and fearless with a double FC by the end of the map. They're bringing it back. They lost a point on their own Protect, and now they're returning the favor on Polish Protect, which was at Nomad 3. That is insane. That's only the beginning of the match, and we've already seen some of the... This is the most unpredictable outcome I would expect from this match.
Apparently, I wasn't familiar with Singapore's game. What just happened here? 2 breakpoints in a row on both Protects.
I am speechless. I am speechless. What is this?
I'm sorry, Singapore.
I mean, Timper, after this trade of points, I think both teams should reconsider their strategies into this match.
For
like
real.
right now.
They should just both take their time out here to try and rethink their whole strategy.
They really do.
Because what just happened is something that normally doesn't happen. 2 breakpoints in a row, and both being the Protect. There's no yellow tag left on this map screen.
Yeah, it's like DT1 and Nomad 3 were supposed to be the sharpest tools in the chat for both Poland and Singapore, and they both backfire. That is truly tragic. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe we will see Poland picking some consistency maps like Nomad 1 later in the match, and Singapore actually going for control maps, which I do not think they were. I do not think that was in their wish list. But no, not so fast. Hard Rock 3 is gonna get picked by Singapore first. And it is Dustwind. This is the map that we almost saw a quad-way FC from Australia on. 210 BPM burst / streams. Test your stamina a bit, test your overall mechanics consistency. Almost no aim on this map. It's just pure heaven if you are a Hard Rock tapping beast.
I'm just trying to recover from what we just saw. But yeah, we're going into the Hard Rock 3, picked by Singapore here. This map is not easy. This is a map that is very technical. The streams are pretty annoying to hit, definitely with Hard Rock. So you really have to control your aim. I think Singapore does have the necessary players to be able to do that. But Poland also has some players that are capable of that, definitely, but it just depends on who has the better scores here, because it really could go anyway. Yeah,
you put it very well. I am quite scared. I'm quite scared for Singapore, because if we check, they played this map against Czechia, and even though they won it against Czechia, they got a 2.4 million team score, which is not that tremendous, because they got one player with 800, another one with 700, and the other two got around 400 or 300. So, you know, there's only
not the greatest. But...
Yeah, nobody have seen the map. That's what my concern is. And knowing Poland, I mean, I'm not sure if they're great at speed, but 210 BPM could be considered borderline speed. Some of the players on the Polish roster, I am pretty sure, are more than capable of playing that. And knowing that Poland has those stream geniuses, I would be a bit concerned. I was Singapore.
Yeah, but there's definitely a difference between Hard Rock streaming and normal streaming, because Hard Rock streaming is just so different because of the increase in OD. It's just so different with the smaller hit window you have. So it's easier to no lock.
Yeah, totally. We shall just wait and see how this goes, but for sure, I know that Singapore, they made a substitution. Instead of Sopan, they're putting Apple Tier for this Hard Rock 3. Last time it was Sopan, this time it's gonna be slightly different, and so far it is paying out. Singapore with a quarterway FC, but Poland is by any means not left behind. They are in fact leading by the accuracy. You look at 98 from Jampik and Obrad. They're pulling this map apart right now. It's 30k lead, but it's slowly shifting towards Singapore because of the ag drops. They are massive on the side of Obrad, and Singapore with this one are gonna be taking the helm on this Hard Rock 3 as we're approaching a more so chill section of the map.
Yeah, and it's still swapping back and forth. Accuracy being the deciding factor right now, and it is just swapping back and forth. But Ball 3D does find a break, but Anthra trades it, but Apple Tier follows with that. Poland now has an advantage in combo 3 against 2 FCs here, but Obred does find another miss.
Holy, players are dropping like flies, Timper. It's only 2 FCs versus 2 FCs, same situation we saw on that NOMELON 3, and Singapore was the one to take over, but oh god, you saw the double break from Dingling and Apple Tier. That means that NOMELON is left alone. The last warrior of Team Singapore, he is cornered, he is still swinging, but you look at Poland, Villumin and Jampek, they are not softening their grip. Jampek might fall, but 180k score difference that Villumin and Jampek built up is gonna be more than enough so far. Only if Illumina breaks, that's gonna change the situation. And look at that. Speaking of the devil, Alman Mol is now the only FC. 80k. The last couple of streams are here. It is skyrocketing towards Singapore. Alman Mol needs to hold, and he is doing that. It is slowly but surely flipping towards Team Singapore, and that is done. That is the deal done for Team Singapore. That's such a nail biter up until the very last seconds of the map, but Singapore are getting that point, and Timper, holy outcome. 3 maps in a row.
Match?
What is this match? This is
match?
not supposed to be happening. This is not supposed to be happening.
It's like, you think you see, like, from the qualifiers, you would think that that is like your skill going into the tournament, into like the what you would see in semis, right around there, semis, quarters. It's just insane that a low star pool like this can bring out the skill in a team that has so underperformed in qualifiers. And right now we see Singapore in the lead, actually, against a team like Poland, who is, yeah, it's just insane to me.
Yeah, that's just what you should have looked out for. I mean, Aldman Mall is, as mentioned, your low SR tourney player in those 50k tourneys, 30k tourneys. And he just proved why he is so consistent on pools such as 6.2, which we have in this 5WCFC in Hard Rock 3 being the Knight in Shining Armor as 2-1. That is looking like a potential upset. Singapore beat Czechia and they are on the run right now, Timper. If they win that next pick of Team Poland, which is NOMELON 5, I will be completely speechless. I will drop my mic.
Dude, if that happens, Singapore is going to be 2 points up and have their own pick back, that it could go into match point, and that would just be total devastation for Poland. And if it does happen like that, yeah, Poland really needs to rethink what they are going to do for next matches, because a strategy that just does this is not gonna work.
Yeah, especially considering you see that NOMELON 5, and Timper, we know this map is like, you're so fragile on this map, no matter how strong you are. Because it's AR6, it is aim with AR6, some awkward jumps here and there, and those jumps are also constant. So, you know, you have some density here and there for this NOMELON 5, and overall it doesn't feel that great playing the map, even if you know how to read it, because of just the nature of this specific cross me out NOMELON 5. For Singapore, that's only going to be helping them though, so if they want a break point and another one and make the lead 3-1, that's gonna be the map to do such.
Definitely. And we are seeing good luck and fun in the chat, so that should mean we're getting this map underway. Poland being 1 point down, something we haven't expected from this match. And yeah, it is up to Poland now to try and replicate what Singapore just did and win their own map for the first time in this match. Because if we get another breakpoint here, it would be total and utter devastation for the Poland team.
Yeah, this match is already truly cursed. Let's see how more cursed it can get, Timber. With Nomad 5 starting a little less than 3 minutes, we're seeing Junk Manic finding the opening break, and that's quite bad. He is your sort of gimmick specialist if you are Team Singapore, and we're all seeing the appearance of Lika, my husband, Lao Sai. Let's see how this goes for them, the first debut, and so far they're the ones I've seen, same for Apple Tier, while Poland is dropping their first FC, which was Bolt 3D, so the situation is completely equal.
Yeah, but Lao Sai does find a miss as well. Bolt 3D trades, but it is still 2 against 3 FCs for Poland. And with that, they haven't gotten that small lead, but this map being so slow, it is very slow to increase your score. IMQ finds another miss. Ball and Kiori also breaking, and with that, it is actually Singapore now who is once again in the lead.
No, yes, suddenly that comfortable lead turned into nightmare for Poland, especially after that break from Arthur Bestley. He was the last bastion that was still holding for Team Poland. And you look at the situation now, Apple Tier might break, but you look at Liga, my husband, this player is just going off at the moment. The only FC, he's the only one who is keeping the dream alive for Team Singapore, getting that 3rd point. He's supported by Lao Sai as well, so it's quite great. You have the team synergy from your gimmick players, and they are executing that perfectly. They're trying to lower the guillotine on Team Poland, making that 3rd point and the break point potential pretty much achievable.
Yeah, and with a third of the map left, it is still Icon who is holding on. Both 3D, Junk Maniac and Apple Tier have found misses of their own, Curie as well. And it is just RNQ and Arthur who are recovering for the Polish team. And it is just that one big combo from Singapore who's holding on and is still holding on to that insane lead that they have built right now, over 140,000.
Yeah, these two have traded blows before, but this one's gonna hit very much differently. If Singapore gets the 3rd point, that's gonna be major turning momentum, but a break from Lika and my husband might flip the cards. And Poland, with that 400 and 300 combos from Iron Q and Arthur Bastia,
is there enough time,
the strongest
though?
Poland players, there might not be enough time. That's the only thing that is ruining the win for them. And yeah, this is the outro of the song, 80k. It is going rapidly to Poland, but it's just not enough.
It's not enough!
Singapore is taking it. The 3rd break point into this match.
Dude,
out of 4
I'm
maps.
actually flabbergasted. What is happening in this match?
We're just trolling, huh?
We are just absolutely. What is happening?
No, and you look at the team, you look at the lobby chat, and both Polish and Singapore players are freaking out at the moment. Arthur Bestia and Lao Sai, you can clearly tell by their comments that they are so surprised by what's happening in this match. Oh my days. Singapore winning a gimmick map was not something I wouldn't expect. And the audio break again.
Yeah, can we have a sync on music, please? Thank you. Oh my... What is happening? Like, we are now 4 maps in. And from what we had as our, like, data that we could use, we can throw all that out the window now. Like, it's just not credible for us. Like, this is crazy. This is something that I've not seen happen in such a long time. And what is crazy to me is that Singapore is now going into the DT3, because that is one of the maps that they actually won against Poland in qualifiers. So if they
Okay.
do get this, they go into match point.
If they
In
do.
a 4v1, in 4-1 scoring, what is this?
I mean, first of all, Tim, for like Singapore, they're in a group with Poland, Czechia, and United Kingdom. They're surrounded by European countries. They're the only Asian country right here, and they already eliminated Czechia. They beat them 5-1, and look what's happening to Poland, one of the more prominent teams in this 5WC. They're losing 1-3. DD3 from Singapore looks very reasonable to me. Is Zero Fill Love. It is a finger control map with some aim, but mostly the difficulty is gonna come from these doubles, triples, and quads just completely changing all the time, and they're also quite dense. Sometimes on top of those doubles, triples, and quads, you also have those stop and go patterns. Like, for example, you have a triple and then you just have to stop because there's not gonna be another tapping burst, but there's gonna be like a note out of nowhere that you need to wait to hit for, and that is gonna ruin your tempo and this map, and all that combined all together is what really makes this map a really great finger control task. And for Singapore, they're on the run. They're on the run, Timber. I think they're in a very good mood as well.
Dude, their mental should be through the roof. Like, they're up 3-1 against a team that is like seated 10 spots higher than them.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, C15 versus C23. That is such a David versus Goliath type of matchup, and Singapore is truly showing us why they have the Goliath name in this match. At the moment, they just cannot jinx it. If they jinx it, it's going to be over. Because I know for a fact that Poland, they have very high potential players like Volumina, Jamping, Arthur, and Iron Q. All these four are super strong. Matter of fact, 3 of them are pretty much new gen, and we already know what they can put up in 5EC, and they are really transferring their skill here. Just a bit of a rough start, but if they pull themselves together, Singapore is going to have a very hard time. Matter of fact, Anthrax finding the opening break, and Poland is trying to run away.
Yeah, Anthrax finding that first miss is hurting Singapore a little bit, and it's now given Poland that lead of over 120,000. But the accuracies on the side of Poland are coming a little bit. Definitely that one from Arthur, not being able to hold that high of an accuracy. But on the side of Singapore, it is more accuracy troubles that are hurting their score quite a bit. And with only that first miss from Anthrax being the only miss right now, it is Poland who is now over 230,000 score up on Singapore.
Yeah, Singapore just needs to pray they see at least 1 or 2 breaks. 2 would be ideal for them. Because Poland, that lead, that combo advantage is starting to look very, very terrifying. Already 300k as we're entering the last K, but Jambek is here with the break. They need more, and there it goes from Volumina. That triple way FC from Singapore, they need to hold strong. They need to support each other. Oh my god, it is flying towards Team Singapore. Double FC from Arthur, and RQ is not helping whatsoever. After that break of Arthur, I think that's, oh my days. What are we doing? What are we doing, Timber?
What is no.
Not like that. Not like that, Singapore. You cannot be doing that 3 times in a row. What? Like,
I already said that this was. Yeah, I was already saying that this is one of the maps that Singapore actually beat Poland on. Poland having the lead throughout the whole map until the end, where there's one last Ki, where they absolutely destroy themselves, miss on every single one of their players, just missed. Singapore had 1 player hold, and I just increased their score by a landslide, and just all that, the score difference was just gone.
No, it was just snowballing downhill. There was no stopping that combo, that avalanche from Team Singapore. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you're wondering why we're so freaked out, like literally before this match, Timber and I were in the VC, like preparing for it, and we were like, so what outcome do you predict from this match? And I was like, so Poland wins 5-1, and Timber was like, so Poland wins 5-0, and we were like, yeah, okay, we will see. And look at that, my universe got completely put inside out. That is something that I would never expect. Singapore is just, yeah.
Just looking at the seedings, Singapore is 23, Czechia is 19. Okay, I can see a 4-seed difference. Okay, I can see that it like 5-1. Okay, Czechia had a bad day, you know. But the difference between these two teams is at least 8 to 9 seeds. That difference shouldn't produce this type of match. This type of match should be a seed difference of over 10, or around that point. And it's just crazy to me that Singapore just fairly de-seeded.
I don't know, maybe on high SR they're not that great, but that's what I've been saying. That low SR aspect from the Singaporean players, they know what's at stake when it comes to those 6 SR pools, low 6 SR pools. They came prepared. And the worst part is that, like, if Poland analyzed them from qualifiers, that was completely incorrect, because Singapore just showed us some of the most dominant performances on the skill sets they were not supposed to perform on well.
Yeah, like, dude, so we were also just looking at, like, before the match, we were looking through the maps on each of the maps. I was looking through, and like, Poland won it. Poland won. And the only ones that Singapore was better on from qualifiers was that Hidden 2, the DT2, and the DT3.
Yeah.
And from that, I was like, okay, they maybe get like 1 point because Poland is going to ban 2 of the others. And it's just like, that's going to be the match. But Singapore has just outperformed themselves by a landslide on this lower star rating pool, and it's just wiping the floor with Poland right now. And
yeah,
for the rest, I don't know what to say. Like,
I think Poland also doesn't know what to say. They took a timeout for a reason. They're very confused right now. They're very confused.
Yeah, it is match point for Singapore right now. It's
one incorrect pick from Poland, and it is over. And that guarantees, like, if Singapore wins this one, they are guaranteed at least top 2. They will only have one last match left against United Kingdom, which is also a very, very intriguing one. But if they win against Poland, that's gonna be a generational run for them in this group stage. And Poland, we still haven't even seen any picks from them after that timeout. What do we even think they can pick?
I have no clue. It's absolutely, like, I don't know what to say anymore. Like, I don't know what Poland's best pick is here. Maybe a Hidden, because they haven't played it yet. Maybe a free mod, because they haven't played it yet. Maybe they just need to try new map types to try and, like, get back into a rhythm of, like, winning. Because right now, they've lost 3 maps in a row. And they really need to get back into the swing of things, because if they don't, it's just over. And with they haven't played any matches yet, so this is their first match, as you said. And if they lose this first one, they have to win against the UK, who's won 5-0 against Czechia, and they have to win against Czechia, who has lost to Singapore. So.
Oh yeah.
It's not looking great.
Timber. Do you see that pick?
The Hidden 3.
The Hidden 3. And I think we both know that this map is quite random. It's quite random.
It
like,
really is.
Not to underestimate it, but it is quite short. There's a bunch of those sliders. Slider aim, light tack. You already know.
139.
Yeah. And I guess the logic behind Poland's pick is that Singapore banned Nomad 4 and AG3 is quite similar to Nomad 4 in terms of that slider aspect. But I don't know. Are we even supposed to look at Singapore's bans considering what they've done so far into this match?
Dude, I have no clue anymore. Like, anything we've said has just been thrown out the window. Singapore has just turned everything upside down and just has been performing out of their mind. And I have no clue how this map is gonna go, because this map is short, it is a gamble, it is a map that if one man misses, it's just done. And that shows like how flabbergasted I am to see this.
Yeah, this is around the first time I have no words when commentating the match. Good luck and fun for both countries, Poland and Singapore. Do or die for Poland. If Singapore takes this one, that's gonna be the most impressive performance we've seen from Singapore throughout many years in 5WC.
Dude, if Singapore takes this, they are basically almost guaranteed to go into the upper bracket.
Yeah, for sure.
So Poland is dreading the future right now, because if it does come to happen that Singapore wins this,
dude,
we
should just wait. We should just wait and see. We should just wait and see. 1 minute and 1 minute and 40 seconds. And around that time, we will find an answer, and the captain of Team Poland, Kiori, is gonna drop first blood on this one. Apple Tier and Junk Maniac, same for Xtrullor, are trading Kiori, so it is currently looking very grim for Team Singapore, considering it's only 1 quarter into the map, and we already see 3 breaks from Singapore. It's looking pretty shabby for them. Poland tried to find their grip into this match. Obred finding a break, but still the hope is here. Both 3D and Iron Q are here for the deal. The dynamic duo of Team Poland, the dynamic duo of 5EC, they are doing their best, but that Kiai that's gonna kick all the teams very, very soon is where the actual storm will begin, and God knows who will withstand it.
Yeah, and so far we have Almanmal and Iron Q who missed right before it. It is still a 3-way recovery combo from Singapore, and I think they've actually gotten a small lead in terms of combo. Obred does find out a miss. Both 3D and Q are the only ones on the side of Poland with high combos. They have to hold here to try and keep this point on the side of Poland. Less than a quarter of the map left. Singapore is recovering, and it is holding. The score lead is going slowly but surely towards Singapore, but is there enough time? I don't think there is.
Yeah, this is so intense. Singapore has the combo, but they do not have time. 1 break from anyone from Team Poland is gonna be more than enough, but no, this time Poland is actually defending their pick as a 2nd point on their board, and this is not done. They're still in the game. They still have a will to fight, and that timeout, Timper, was exactly what they needed.
Yep.
At least 1 point, and maybe that will be enough to pull off a comeback. But it's gonna be a tough journey for them, because Singapore, even though they lost this one, God exists. It's gonna be a tough journey, because Singapore is just 1 map for them, while for Poland they need to get 3 in a row.
Yep.
And knowing what condition Singapore is now, not even losing that AG3 by a large margin, they still have that momentum in them, and it's their pick. That's the worst part for Team Poland.
Yeah, and a loss like this I hope it doesn't bring the morale from the Singaporean players down, because they are still in that match point position, and they still have a total of 3 picks? Yeah, actually no, 2 picks.
Oh yeah.
There's 2 picks left. 1 from them and 1 from Poland, so either they do it here, or they have to hope that they get the point from the Polish pick, and they go for the 3-1. Sorry.
And then it's a risky consistency Toho map. At 154 BPM, have some flow bursts, have some aim, have some sliders. And overall, yeah, that's consistency. Timper, this one, I want to say this one is quite risky. They lost DT1 against Poland, even though, of course, the primal skill set is different. Like DT1 is just your speed aim / speed slider consistency. Still, consistency is the name of the game, and this Premod won. And Poland, that was the only map they won before the HS3. And they got a very solid score. So this one, even though it's completely different mod, is a completely different secondary skill set, the main objective is still the same.
Yeah, it is going to be the main objective is still the same because Singapore is in that match point and they really want to try and close this out right now, right here, and hopefully that they don't have to go to that tiebreaker if Poland does find those 2 more wins in a row. Because if Poland does find those 2 wins, I don't know if Singapore can cope with the 4 in a row and then having to play that tiebreaker.
Ooh. That's gonna be so mentally draining if that happens. And I mean, Timber, they already wounded the beast. They want to finish the job. 3-1. This might be it. This might be the last map of this match. The easy multis are in front of your eyes. 1.8x was easy. 2.1x was easy. HD. Good luck and fans are here. Dingling Chen, Azrax, Laosa, and Junk Maniac for Singapore. Expecting Laosa and Junk Maniac to go with Hard Rock. Dingling Chen, Azrax was hidden. And Poland, we're seeing the more experienced part of the lineup is Obrat, Kiori, Illumina, and Iron Q stepping in. The captain is here for the support. And God knows how this one will end. It is slightly
Triple
more than
hard
2
rock.
minutes long. There's a
On
triple
Poland.
hard rock. Yeah, needless to say, Timper, Poland really loves hard rocks. Only Kiori was hidden. And overall, Poland, they've been showing some incredible scores on those hard rock maps in quals. They got seed 8 on most of those hard rocks. So yeah, they really love that one. And for Singapore, it's gonna be very, very balanced. We're starting off with those bigly streams and a full combo reset almost, except Laosai on the side of Team Singapore, while Poland is blowing them out of the water right off the bat.
Yeah, but more combo drops from Kiori and a big act drop from Wilhelmina have resulted in the score lead being not that great. Obred and Dingling Chen do trade misses here, and it is now a 1v2 in favor of Poland with 2 FCs on the side of Poland still holding, even though the accuracies aren't that great.
Oof, Obrad breaking right before that slow free combo section. It's not gonna favor Poland. Singapore trying to get back on track. Still an FC from Laosai. Azrax, no, you could not have broken on this section. You needed to hold to get that victory, but it's not gonna be happening. Now you have to leave the duty to Dingling Chen and Junk Maniac. They did recover, but Poland also did. Kiori and Iron Q are back on track. No, it was a break from Kiori, though now it's it's a 2-way FC versus a 1-way FC, and 2 great supports from the side of Singapore, so it is pretty much equalized, but the break from Volumina is gonna set the message straight for Team Singapore. You look at the difference, Timper, they're doing it.
With about a third of the map left going into a quarter, it is Singapore is now ahead, and RQ and Wilhelmina both have broken. There is no FCs left on the side of Poland. Junk Maniac and Dingling Chen both recovering incredibly well. And on the side of Poland, there's just no combo. Kiori is the only one with a 300 combo, and it's just Junk Maniac right now with that huge combo who's doing it for Singapore right now.
It is Kiori, the captain of Poland. He is going down with the ship. The ship is sinking. It is Poland to lose this match. Singapore, when nobody believed in them. They just proved all of us wrong. Not only they wounded the beast, but they also slayed it. And it's going to be 5-1, with Singapore winning their second match in the group. First against Czechia, now against Poland. They're making those matchups look easy, and we are completely ignoring the fact that they are C23 team. They're the lowest seeded team in their own group, and they already are on a 2-0 run, team. Oh my god, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
I am absolutely speechless. Singapore has just achieved a result that on paper should not be possible. And right now, they are actually 2-0 in the bracket, or not bracket, the group, which has a very good chance and means that they're actually first in the group right now as the lowest seed.
Timper, there's now one final frontier left for Singapore. Tomorrow they're playing against United Kingdom. Guys, everybody who's in the chat, you should come and watch it. Singapore is doing some incredible stuff. A fantastic performance from all the players. And if I were United Kingdom, I would be scared. Because yeah, United Kingdom, they got second place in 5EC, and they have 6 people from that very roster. But Singapore is doing some things that should be considered illegal with those 2 wins. Yeah,
with this skill in terms of lower star and what they've shown here, I think Singapore can definitely bring a fight to United Kingdom if they play as well as they've done today. Because I don't think United Kingdom is ready for the amount of consistency this Singaporean team has on these lower stars. Because what they've shown here against Poland is absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah.
If you've just gone through stats, you would not think this is possible.
Yeah, I mean, dear viewers, I hope you're ready for the show tomorrow. Singapore, the dark horse of Group B, suddenly becoming the knight in the shining armor. And I really like that story. I really like the story, Timper. So join us tomorrow and see the history in the making. But for now, I think everything that needed to be said was said, and we still have a bunch of matches left for today, Timper.
Yeah, let's see. So we have more matches indeed coming your way at 15 UTC, which is in 37 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Or is 14? No, 14. Yeah, I am 16 UTC now. It is 16 UTC. Yeah, it's gonna be 16 UTC is the next match. 15:30 as well. Actually, Italy versus Vietnam is coming up on this channel in 7 minutes.
Alrighty then, we do not have that much time to yap more. I mean, I think everybody already understood the the surprise in our messages and in our cast. Yeah, really happy for Team Singapore. Wishing best of luck to Team Poland. I'm pretty sure they can get out of that group on either second and third place, but first is gonna be one hell of a challenge for them. I don't know. I do not even know if that's possible anymore. But yeah,
I don't think so.
Very interesting group, and that's a great way to put it at the end. On this high note, we will end the stream. Thank you everybody for watching. Having the pleasure of commentating this one hell of a match was me, Philoxen, and I was joined by the one and only Timper. Thank you, man. Always a pleasure casting with you. But with that, we're gonna be signing off. You were watching 5WC second channel. It was 5WC staff team. Fubukii was streaming the match. Wooden was reffing the match. And yeah, we really hope you enjoyed it. Bye bye everybody, and we will see you soon.
Enjoy the next matches.